honest, if you or I were to write the Easter story, there's no way we would have come up with what Jesus came up with. It's just way more complicated than we ever would have thought of. Our story might go something like this. Like maybe Jesus, the hero, would be betrayed by a friend. Maybe he's arrested and put on trial and it's all corrupt. And maybe our story would go so far as to have Jesus crucified on a tree, but we wouldn't let him die, right? Like in the 11th hour, we'd save him. Somehow he'd save himself. Something would happen, and Jesus would go and rally the Jewish people, and they'd overthrow the Roman government, and Jesus would become King of the Jews, and he would rule the world, King Jesus. And this once troubled soul who was in all kinds of danger, now he takes the throne and he'd get married and have lots of babies, and their future generations would be kings and queens also, right? And that would be our plan. And it's a decent little story. Like, it's okay, it's kind of cute. But listen to the way Jesus tells the story. He says in John's gospel, the hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. He says, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains just a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many more seeds. See, his plan was so much bigger than anything that we could come up with. Our little story, our little screenplay, we focus on his countrymen, right? We focus on this nation that was oppressed. We focus on bringing safety and prosperity. But Jesus thinks about the entire world and not just having a good life for people. He thinks about, how can I forgive people of their sins? How can I give everyone eternal life? You see, his plans aren't just bigger. His plans are better. He's thinking of things that we could never come up with. And I wonder how many times you've seen that intersect with your life, where his plans are different, but when you think about it, they're just better. And maybe as we think forward to Easter and we think about where each of us as individuals are right now, maybe we could just stop and maybe we're frustrated with where we are. Maybe we're even frustrated with God, but maybe we could stop to acknowledge, God, are your plans better than mine? Do you actually have a roadmap for me that I could never even see? And in that way, we could just sit in that and use that to get us ready for Easter, to trust him more. Because maybe the plans that we have that have been inconvenienced, that we've bumped into other things, maybe those inconveniences are actually God's better plans intersecting with our lives. Would you even have room for that? Could you even slow down to let there be room for God's plans? I know we all have to make plans and we all have to set goals, and we live in a world of plans, and we got to have a 5-year plan and a 10-year plan. And I see the way we tell our kids they have to have a plan for their life by the time they're about 8 years old. Do we even have room for God's plans anymore? Maybe we get ready for Easter this way, that we just say, today, God, what are your plans for my life today? Not for the next 20 years, just for now. And we walk in that. And yes, we make goals and we make plans, but we listen. And when he leads us, we follow his plans, because they're not just bigger, they're better. It's good news. See you next week.